Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! It's-a me, not the Luigi! Good evening, and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan, and I am not trying to get sued by Nintendo, so any appearances to certain characters in certain fictional video game series is purely coincidental. Yeah, alright, moving on. Let's see here who we have in the chat. Let's see here. We have Thomas Armstrong says, Eep, MFM to ASCI. We have Trina's Technobabble. Hi, Trina. We have Callan. Hi, Callan. We have myself, because I was running late. Yes, just in time. We have Jack68K. Hi, Jack. Thomas was asking, what size Megafile? And neither Trina or I remember. The Megafile is safely over to the side until it's time to put it on the bench. The Atari ST is also off to the other side because shelf space. I need more shelves. But I need AirTags first, so that's the Ko-fi goal. Links in the video description. They're on sale right now. We have Rudy's Retro Intel. Hi, Rudy. We have Retro Fox. Hi, Retro Fox. We got a bottle of water to stay hydrated. And Thomas Armstrong says, the fun Megafile with Seagate ST MFM drives. Well, yeah, I noticed that. I missed you at the swap meet, too. I was afraid it was going to be a rain out. I was wrong. Our block yard sale was a rain out, so I found nothing. So, I'll be booking a room for the next swap meet. Hopefully it's not a rain out again. Alright, so yes. Despite the fact that I decided not to travel, that was an expensive weekend. Thanks to non-refundable first nights after certain dates. That's the gamble I took. Trina says, the guy at the post office, when he saw the box I shipped the drive in, was like, that is a hard drive? Yeah, hi, Jesse. We have i8386SX. Yo! Also, before the stream gets too long, we also have the following.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
Not that having a Megafile shipped from Canada might not be a Wheel of Regrets entry, but ooh, look, we have packages that come from eBay, the place where I buy the things I later regret. And this first potential regret comes to us from an eBay seller in New York State. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in New York State. Anyone want to take a guess of what it is? It's kind of in an oversized envelope. It's like when you buy a bag of chips. In fact, let's just go ahead and rip this bag. Oh, looky here. Ha! Never ceases to amaze me. Thomas says, I got a Megafile from Germany. Well, I mean, those Seagate MFM drives are pretty reliable, so maybe it works. But what's also reliable is, Trina says, toilet paper. No, it's a Priority Mail Express. I don't know if that's your guess of what this was packed in or what it was, but it never ceases to amaze me of eBay sellers using the free packing material you're not supposed to use for anything else. You know, if the post office really wanted to make loads of profits for a quarter or so, or possibly only a few weeks until eBay sellers got wise to it, they should stop inspecting media mail packages and start inspecting every other class of mail that looks like an eBay seller has reused priority mail packing, and charge them like $10 per. Yeah, there we go. That'll make everyone mad at the Postal Service probably, but hey, those packing materials are not for packing, they're for shipping. There is a distinction. But anyways, Trina said just the shape of it when it was rolled up. Anyways, don't blame me if the post office actually implements that idea. My channel's too small for them to have actually seen my channel to come up with it. Anyways, we have probably the most ridiculous item I have bought yet. We have a Cyrix CX486S40 Fast Cache. All right, we're going to zoom in because apparently this thing is so fast they like couldn't spell it right. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Now you're probably thinking, ew, gross. Is that one of those math coprocessorless Cyrix processors? And you would be right and wrong. Because I found one that had the math coprocessor daughter board with it. So yes, Cyrix made a processor that, because the 486 didn't have a math coprocessor socket like you might think. Yeah. Here's your math coprocessor. So I probably overpaid for this, but anyways. So it is a 40 megahertz 486 processor. Codename M6. But at least it looks like we don't have any bent pins. And, well, it's got the coprocessor daughter board, which I guess I should probably check. Yes, also, does not have any bent pin. Well, okay, nothing significantly bent. It does look like there's maybe a wee little bit of bend in a few of those pins, but nothing that'll probably keep it from going in. Alright, Thomas has sent me a link that I will need sooner or later. Well, then I'd better bookmark it sooner than later. Let's see here, what is this? HD driver home. Oh. Alright, well, alright, it is bookmarked, so hopefully I don't lose it. Alright! So, yes! Someday we'll have to play with that processor. But we've got another Wheel of Regrets item here. So this item comes to us from an eBay seller in Indiana. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Indiana. All right, so they have not only pressed firmly to seal, but they have added extra tape to make sure that I have to pull out something to open the box. You know, I miss the days when the post office put a little tear flap on these boxes. I can't imagine that they stopped putting the tear flap on them because postal employees were pulling them open mid-shipment. I only presume they stopped using them because they cost money to put on the box. All right, we have newspaper. Oh, and looky there. Surprise, surprise. Priority mail packing. Oh, and we have a baseball card. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. If anyone's wondering, no, the name on the baseball card does not match the name on the return shipping address. Also, I have a feeling that Scott Bradley is a generic player card that's not worth anything. So if anyone wants to look up I think it's a 1987 Topps card. Scott Bradley. I'm having trouble reading the date. Yeah, 1987. Scott Bradley. Catcher and outfielder. Wow, that's or is that center outfielder? Yeah, I'm rusty on my markings. Anyways, there we go. You know, this is not what I bought, but this would sure be a regret if that card was actually valuable. Because actually it was valuable, because that's not Scott Bradley's handwriting. Let me see here. Baseball card values. Something tells me I'm not going to be able to just simply look this one up. Trading card. Let's see here. Search PSA certified collectibles. Scott Bradley. Bradley. Something tells me. Oh. Prices. Oh, this isn't for 1987. You know, probably not worth anything, so I'm just not going to even bother. But this is probably one of those that I'd probably have to pay for the price guide just to see that this card's probably worth a quarter or less than that. Beckett costs $130 for 12 months. That's ridiculous. I'll just go buy D-Topaz. Topps number 376. Yep. $6 on eBay. Stian says, hi, D-Topaz. And Stian says $6 on eBay. It's about 25 cents in real life. So that sounds about right. Yeah. Hi, Stian. So apparently the eBay seller wrote a thank you on what was a $6 on eBay baseball card. But I guess if there is a one thing, it is a Mariners card. That is a Trident. Let's see what's in here, because I've actually somewhat forgotten what's in here. Oh. Topaz says first D is silent. All right, well, I will try to remember that. It may take 20 bazillion reminders. It might take none. All right. Retro Fox says most of the sports cards aren't worth the cardboard they're printed on. Yeah. Sad Mac. Hi, Sad Mac. It says thank you. I was reading it as turk you, which made 0 sense. Oh, and what do you know? Of course, it only makes sense that they would put a Mariners baseball card in with a Trident video card. Look at this beaut. It is a PCI 3D Image 975. And it has the memory upgrade board. So not only do I have 2 megabytes of middling 3D performance. I have 4 megabytes of middling 3D performance. And I even have the TV out. Look at that. Ooh. I think I have the AGP version of this card as well. So, yes, from Jayton Corporation. So, is this card old enough that it's still made in the US? Ah! It is! So, Jayton did eventually move production to China or somewhere like that, but this card is old enough that this was still when they were making their cards in the USA. Stian's asking, have you bought all the Trident cards ever made yet? I think I have a few that I don't have yet. I need to go through my stash and see which ones I haven't managed to... Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me put my processor... I'm trying to put this Trident card in a anti-static bag. It was never designed to fit. There we go. Let me put the processor in there. Alright. So. Alright. Stian says Trident card on a Trident card. Yeah. I wonder if that seller... I wonder if that seller did that on purpose or if that just happened to be the next worthless baseball card in their stack for writing thank you notes. Of course, you know, the funny thing would be if I find out that actually was Scott Bradley. I mean, the name didn't match, the last name didn't match, but I mean, he could have changed his name. Probably not. Okay, moving along. Our next eBay potential regret comes to us from France. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in France. Specifically, oh wait, I marked out the address, so I don't know what part of France. And believe me, I would have preferred to have bought this somewhere that was a little cheaper to get it from, but they only went up in price, so beggars can't be choosers. Thomas Armstrong says, Rifa caps from France. No. No. It's a ACSI cable. So yes, this cable here, that I don't even think's a meter long. I think this is like maybe half a meter, 18 inches. I don't... These cables are ridiculously short for what they are. Do I even have a tape measure handy? No, of course not. Do I have a metric tape measure handy? Of course not. My tape measures run away when I want to measure something. Stan says, looks like 50 centimeters. Yeah, it probably is. Because it's... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe... Oh, here we go. There's a 25 centimeter ruler on my silicon mat. So we'll start measuring at the connector. And there's 25 centimeters there. Oh, yeah, it's a 50 centimeter cable. And I guess they don't measure the housing. So, yep. 50 centimeters or half a meter. I called it by eyeballing it. This isn't my first orbit around the sun when it comes to buying cables. That is kind of ridiculously short. But the thing is, I was going to go off and order a DB25 cable because I didn't even count the number of pins on the ACSI port. And then someone pointed out there's a DB19 cable. Thomas says you can make them if you have the rare DB19. That's the problem. The DB19 is rare. So you either have to pay out the wazoo for DB19s, or you have to hack up a DB25 and it looks awful, or you go without, which, well, how can we test a Megafile if I go without? So, I picked the potential regret option, and I will let you all, I will admit to how much this cost. I might admit to the other two items. No, I'm not going to admit to the Cyrix processor just yet. The Trident card was $30 total. I think it was probably 20 plus 10 shipping or something like that. It had the RAM card on it, so I splurged. Ah, there we go. This cable, this 0.5 meter ACSI cable, was $54.90 plus $11.80 shipping and $2.91 tax. But, oh, by the way, that was not dollars. That was euros. So that was $82.41 total, US dollars. Because it was 70 euros, basically. So, yeah. Thomas Armstrong says you can 3D print the DB19 and put the pins in. Ah, well, more fun that way, says Callan. Yeah, I guess I could have if I realized it. Stian says, I just spent $100 for video cards. I don't feel bad. Super Mac Nubus card. Stian says, okay, feel bad about the cable, but not about the Trident. Yeah. Callan says, same. Cringed when I was pressing the buy button. Yeah. Oh, I've paid $100 for video cards. They were new bus cards. I've paid more than $100 for video cards. Although I didn't fall for the 824 GC that was listed on eBay a couple weeks ago. That was too much for a card that really only makes sense in a 2FX. So I passed on that one. I think it did eventually sell, though. All right. So I guess the only natural course of action now, Ian says for me, I think it was $430 for a Radius rocket. Wow. What's my worst cringe purchase? Well, for me, for Stian, it was a $430 for a Radius rocket. Thomas says, $400 shipping is fine if you're buying a car. Okay, I think my biggest cringe purchase. Ooh, actually, I'm going to think about this one for a moment. I'm scanning the basement. There is one item I keep coming back to. That could be it. I think it was back in 2020 when I had the retro bug. Not the other bug that was going around, but the retro computing bug. And I found an Emerson computer on eBay. And I want to say that I spent like $200 and some for it. And it was actually the thing is I bought two of them and I think they were around $200 and some each. Because the retro prices were going through the roof. And the thing is, I was trying to sell a house and buy another one, so I get them, and I immediately put them in storage, because I didn't want to string them out in my house I was trying to sell, so But yeah, I'd have to go back and look at how much I actually paid, but that was pretty cringy what I paid for a Turbo XT class computer and a 386SX16 computer, neither of which had hard drives in them. And in fact, the 386 had a dead hard drive in it. The Turbo XT didn't have a hard drive. And actually, the 386's video card failed, like, with a few power-ups. And Jesse says, everybody and their brother got that bug in 2020. Yeah, I know. Ah, we've got Newer Ham Radio Elmer. Hi, Elmer. I'm an Unreal fan, so you know. Elmer says the Voodoo 6000 beta. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, so those are probably some of my cringiest vintage computer purchases. Although, there was one point, I'll have to admit, there was one point where I was starting to cringe at my Atari ST purchase. And yes, I'm going to go get the Atari ST now. Actually, let me go grab the Megafile. We'll start with the Megafile, and we'll open it up and inspect it. I was getting afraid that at one point, I was getting worried about it all surviving shipping. And it was after Trina shipped it. And I was at the mercy of Canada Post and the U.S. Postal Service. And I was fearing that it was going to become my cringiest purchase. Fortunately, everything seems to have survived shipping, although I haven't been able to test the Megafile. So let's go grab the Megafile. We're going to inspect it. And then we'll grab the Atari ST. And Thomas says the Megafile does an auto test on power up. We are still going to open up the Megafile and inspect it. Because of those awful little yellow things called REFA capacitors. Even if someone tells me Megafiles don't normally have them, we're still inspecting. Thomas says the power supply is standard Atari stock and easy to fix. Easy to recap. Well, if it needs recapped, I don't have a cap kit for it, so that will be a will cause a delay. So here we go. I had people asking which Megafile it was. And it is the Megafile 30. So that means 30 whole megabytes. I don't necessarily need this to become the international Atari ST. So hopefully I can find a cap kit like that's already maybe somewhere closer than the UK. I know Console 5 has some of them. Oh, actually, I think that screw actually was probably not one I wanted to remove. I think I only want to remove the 4 corner ones. I think there were 6 screws in this at one point, but 2 of them appear to be missing. Alan says, serious storage, yes. I have a feeling that one screw I started to remove is actually holding the hard drive in. All right. So, all right. I think there's some clips in the front. You know, I think there's websites that people have made where they've actually disassembled these and feels. Oh, I bet the clip is in the back actually. Did I miss the screw? Oh. That would explain it. I missed the screw in the middle. There we go. Oh, that's better. And what do you know? We have an RF shield. Oh, someone has been in here before. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And there we go. We have a Seagate ST238R. That is a serious hard drive there. A serious hard drive for serious storage. Oh, Thomas, the twist clips are actually broken off. So someone's been in here before. All right, we've got an Atari power supply. It looks like it's in good shape. I don't see any reefa caps. Oh, the wine filter's in here. And, all right, and the ROM is still seated. Thomas says this does a self-test on power-up. I don't see anything that's become unseated. So let's try to power it up. Oh, hi, Joe. We have Joe's computer. Joe of Joe's Computer Museum. Fancy that. We have Joe in the chat. And we are about to power up this Atari Megafile and see what it does. Place your bets in the chat. Are we going to just have blinking lights? Are we going to have smoke? Are we going to have a absolutely wonderful power-up sound from this hard drive? Thomas says, LED, tell the tale on spin up, give it a while to boot. All right. Joe says, my nose is a faucet. I recommend Puffs Plus. Although the Kleenex lotion ones are also acceptable. Katrina says, I am torn between wanting smoke and it to boot up. Oh, it's a self-contained computer, Thomas says. Retrofox says, are we sure this doesn't need signals from the ST to do much of anything? Well, there's one way to find out. 3, 2, 1. We have spin up and a head seek. Joe says, no smoke. Disappointed. Unsubscribe. Thumbs down. Sarcasm. Yes. Thank you, Joe. If you like it when these old dinosaurs decide they're just going to work after every naysayer says that thing is so obsolete you might as well just throw it away, then don't forget to smash that like button. subscribe and turn on notifications, because you never know what crazy old hard drive I'm going to try to boot up next. Who knows? Maybe I'll get one of those awesome Hawk drives. Oh, wait. That would require me to get a big computer. Yes, it's called a mini computer, but they're rather big, if you ask me. Thomas says, I've never had a broken one. Well, this thing is spinning. It is still spinning. It is still spinning. Still spinning some more. Definitely still spinning. I say we turn this off, and I'll put the lid back on it. Joe says, hook it up and send it. Yeah, all right. So, Trina, you can go tell that postman that said that's a hard drive law. You can let them know that it made it to the U.S. safe and sound. Actually, they probably have seen so many packages between then and now. He's probably going to be like, huh? You're crazy. Why would I? Why do you think I'd want to know that? Or, yeah. Okay, maybe not. Yeah. All right. So I am going to at least put the RF shield back into place because I only have so much space for storing RF shields out of things. All right, there we go. All right, so I will go ahead and leave it plugged in. Stian says, because you like having Wi-Fi. Thomas says, hopefully the hard drive has a driver on it. Let me guess. Atari pulled an Apple, and you have to have a driver on the hard drive. That tracks. Okay, so I guess now I need to go grab the Atari. And we'll, let's see here. Oh, I guess the connectors are... Okay. Well, the connectors are marked the same. Thomas says, or a floppy. Oh, you all are going to make me find my GoTech. It should be closer to my... All right. So, somehow I'm going to fit all this on my bench. So I have an Atari ST with a totally legit factory power supply. They must have, Atari must have been partially broke the day they made this because it looks like someone made it out of an old AT power supply, but you're imagining things. Joe says Joe is describing his cold symptoms. I feel your pain, Joe. All right. This is the point where I'm going to have to push some things over on my workbench. I can push some other things over on my workbench. So I can hopefully maybe put an Atari ST monitor on my workbench. And I'm going to have to go get another power cord. Because I do not have a video adapter for my Atari ST. I will probably get one so I can actually use a VGA capture card with it. I don't have a VGA adapter for it. I don't have a mouse adapter for it either. So, yeah, there's that. If it works, I'll buy some accessories. Stan says, do you know what you get if you order an old Apple monitor from Canada? I don't know. Applesauce? Oh, well, Thomas, this is a monochrome monitor, so the cable pin is really not going to do much more than confirm to the Atari ST that it's a monochrome monitor. Hi, Francois. Yes, we have an Atari. In fact, the cable I bought for using the hard drive came from France. All right, so I turned the Atari monitor on. I guess I'm going to turn the hard drive on. Let me make sure the Atari is off. Yes, the Atari is off. All right, I'm going to turn the hard drive on. Oh, Ian says a Trinitron. Okay. Yeah, this whole computer's Canadian, except for the ACSI cable. Okay. Retro Fox says, don't remember if Justin said he got a floppy drive with this one. Maybe he got the later model high density drive. No, it did not come with the floppy drive. It came with a 3D printed and PCB floppy adapter, which I believe I've identified as a GoTech adapter. I think you put the GoTech into Shugart mode and you just use that. Justin's power supply for this is an AT box wired up to the DIN connector. That's Peak Joe right there. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Joe sold this computer to someone in Canada. Probably not. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, Atari ST is on. I am now going to Droid Cam. I don't see. I don't see anything on the screen. Was the Atari ST actually on? Yeah, I'm trying them. Yes, I know the keyboard needs a cleaning. That'll have to wait. What's the Megafile doing? Oh, I think we've got a green LED on it. Yeah. All right, we got power. I don't see anything on the monitor. I think power is on. Yep, there's the monitor cable. All right. So, what are the dials set to? This is called. All right. So brightness, contrast, on, and volume. Yeah, I know you can't read that. LED on the computer is on. All right. So let's turn the brightness all the way. All right. I turned brightness and contrast to about the middle point. RetroFox says maybe try power on without the Megafile first. All right. Atari's off. I'll turn the Megafile off. I will unplug the Megafile. Maybe I plugged the Megafile into the wrong port. All right. So the power supply is on. All right. Let's turn. All right. I heard the. Okay. So there we go. Retroflux is right into toss. Thomas says that's good. I do not have a mouse. Well, my only complaint is you have all this big monitor, and that's seriously how big the screen is. You can move the pointer with the arrow keys. It just makes that noise when I try to move the arrow keys. You have to hold some key down. Just says it sounds like it's dialing an old rotary phone. Yeah. Alt air. You realize that I can't hold my phone pointed to the screen and hit the Alt key. Because the Alt key is all the way over here. The Control key is all the way over here. But where are the arrow keys? All the way over here. And unlike PC keyboards, guess what's not over here? An extra Control and Alt. So in order for me to try Alt and an arrow key, I have to, like, set the phone down. Oh, and that's it. Yes, that's Alt. It is Alt. I don't know how you're supposed to select the menu. Insert. Oh. Yeah, I would have... Yeah, that was my first guess. Oh, Alt insert, I bet. Yep, there we go. We have Jim, the Graphics Environment Manager. Sorry about the flicker. TOS, Atari, copyright 1985, Atari Corp. Digital Research Inc., all rights reserved. And of course, they couldn't put a version number on that screen. Retro Fox says... Old TOS, says Thomas. Retro Fox says, sadly, the stock TOS doesn't have much of anything you can do, no word processor or anything. In fact, I don't even know if it's got a memory upgrade in it. Alright, let's see. All of our preferences. That's it. And I think because this is the monochrome monitor, I can only use high resolution. I mean, I will have to say, this is a very crisp monitor. Alright, so let's, I guess, give the Megafile another try. So I'm going to turn the Atari off. I can find the power switch. Oh, there's those MIDI ports. Oh, yay, my phone automatically flipped over. So, there's those MIDI ports I'll have to try out at some point. Television. Oh, I bet that's for an RF adapter. Okay. Actually, ooh, I might have to try that. Okay, I'm going to plug the Megafile into the other port. I can't tell if one's an in and one's an out. The writing's kind of hard to read. So, let me set my phone down momentarily. I'm going to use the port that's underneath the power jack on the Megafile. Okay, that's plugged in. Plugged in. All right, I'll turn the Megafile on. Because I'm pretty sure you have to let it warm up. Okay. Megafile is... Alright, so I'm going to... There we go. So we can see if it does anything. I think it's a bit close, so I'm not probably going to be able to focus that. But it sounds like the drive is spun up. So I'm going to turn on the Atari ST. Oh, Retro Fox says, someone said the ready light will light up when it is ready to work. Oh. Well, let me turn the Atari ST off then. Well, it says activity and power. I don't see a ready light on it. It should flash 2 if I remember. Well, I may have to pull the manual up. Cycle the Megafile. Alright. Alright. Sounds like it's turned all the way off. Alright, Thomas says that looked good to him. So, we'll try the Atari ST again. And we'll give it a minute. Maybe I should find my GoTech and a power adapter so I can plug it into power. Because the person that made this wonderful power supply for this Atari ST cut all the extra power connectors off of it. So I can't use it to power the GoTech. Because it looks like I'm probably going to have to use a GoTech and find a Atari boot disk. I'm wondering if this Megafile has been wiped, maybe? Retrofox says need. Yeah, alright. Let me find the GoTech. It's around here somewhere. You would think I'd remember where it. Oh, I see it. There's nothing has appeared on the monitor. Hi, Sloopy, welcome. We are still waiting for something to happen on the Megafile while I configure a thumb drive for a GoTech in Shugart mode. It's the 520ST. The Thomas says the ST may not be Slippy. This is first time ST user. So just like back in the day, my answer is Atari 520ST. I don't know any more than that. It's got the original version of TOS probably. Oh, Thomas Armstrong says the Atari may not be polling the Megafile. Okay, does it have a floppy drive built in? No, it does not. With nothing connect. Okay, Sleepy's asking, with nothing connected to the ST, what does it do? It boots into TOS. Um, I can't do anything with an MSA file. I need a floppy image. Sloopy says, then you don't have an early ST, you have TOS and ROM, which is good. Thomas says, if you get GoTech going. Well, if I get the GoTech going, I need a floppy image. I don't. All right. Zippy says, do you know which TOS you have? No, it doesn't have the version number. There is no version number listed on the About box. So the answer is no, I do not know which version I have. Alright, I don't think the ST is going to do anything. I think I'm going to need to try to hook up a floppy disk. Which means I'm going to save my phone's battery a little bit. Flippy says if it doesn't say, then it's version 1. Okay. All right, so I got my GoTech. And I'm trying to read the jumper positions. So let's see, J5, JA, JC, JB. Oh, I think that's S0 right there. All right. If I remember correctly, well, not with that floppy cable. I think the flash floppy instructions say, Sloopy says, and if I recall, TOS 1.0 needs a boot disk to use a hard drive. All right, well, I'm working on it. All right, let me go to the Flash Floppy Wiki, host platforms, Atari ST, no special configuration is required. Interface is Shugart, the default. All right. Press the previous and next buttons for 3 seconds with no USB stick inserted. All right. Excellent. All right, then all I need to do to use this is reset it to factory defaults, and then I don't have to create a config file, and then I can just put the floppy image on it, and we'll see if I can get it to boot. And I will get back with the chat in a moment. I just need to find a floppy cable that... Oh, actually, I just realized. The cable I have has a twist in it. Oh, but it also has a key pin. Hold, please. So this Atari ST has an adapter on it. Uh oh, thanks, Trina. Trina's gonna... I don't have a mouse for it. Not every marketplace deal has a mouse. In fact, it didn't even have the ACSI cable with it. I had to buy that from France. Okay, I need to find a floppy cable without a... Is not expecting the floppy connector to have a key pin on it. And I need to find my power adapter here. Actually, power adapter sourced. Let me plug my GoTech up to... Oh, I'm probably going to have to replace the power connector. Let me plug that into power. Somehow. fun. Try to reset it to factory defaults. Oh, all right, fine. I'll create a config file. All right. All right. Floppy cable acquired. All right, so this side will go in the... All right, first I'm going to remove these orange clips off of the side that I don't know what they do. Some system I don't have. All right, now that I have removed the clips, I will plug the cable into the Atari ST side. All right, like so. I am going to presume that I want the no twist side going into the floppy drive, like so. All right. Now, there we go. All right. All right. So, I need a toss bootable disk. I think I downloaded one here. Each hard drive demo. There we go. Let's try this program. Eject. It's the demo program. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, there we go. All right, let's try that. All right. Let's see if this boots without the hard drive connected. Okay, that's a good sign. I'll catch up with the chat here in a moment. All right, so I downloaded this demo program that I think Thomas pointed me to, and it does look like it might have booted, or at least it's showing the floppy disk. So let me... well, that's empty. No, there's nothing on the disk. That's weird. Yeah. Okay, so I've got this floppy. It's like some hard drive demo program. I I don't. I'm not convinced that it actually booted. I'm gonna hit the reset button. And I see that it's accessing the floppy drive, but there doesn't seem to be anything on the disk. Did I mount the Gotek USB file? Well, I did. So I have that HDDR demo 125 SCSI selected. Thomas says empty file may be a fake. I don't know what a faker is. It was 640K. And it said on the website it was a floppy image. Hi, Quicksilver. Welcome. It says demo version as drive image. Oh, no, it's not a floppy image. It's a memory card image. Why can't you just give me a floppy image? You should know people don't have. Why can't you just give people a floppy image? Not everyone's got the newest, latest memory card devices. Some of us have the old stuff. All right. Let me find a TOS boot disk. All right, let's see here. Trina's going to find a mouse or see if anyone in the group where this came from has a mouse. Thank you, Trina. Sloopy is probably saying, I really need a mouse. Thomas says, people separate Atari stuff for maximum profit. It's more fun to use without a mouse. I want a mouse. Richard Fox says, I got a mouse and the low density external drive with cable, but had to make the PSUs for both. Sloopy's got 2 or 3 mice and a switchable ST Amiga mouse. I'll get a mouse adapter. We'll have yeah. Yeah, I need a phone holder so that when I need to use DroidCam, I have a phone holder. That is for sure. Yeah, and I need a VGA adapter too. Apparently the Gotek file was not a Gotek file. Yeah, the monitor actually survived shipping. It was a hard drive image, I believe. Floppy image should be 720K or maybe 360K. I am about ready to just go. Someone has got to have archived an Atari boot disk that is a floppy image. Not like something you have to write to a memory card. Not something that requires things that not everyone has. Just a floppy image. There's got to be one out there. Atari TOS floppy image. There we go. American. Well, I guess that's... All right, I guess, despite the fact that American is not actually a language. Oh, here we go. All right, I think I got a TOS disk image. It's 720K, so I think it actually is a disk image. All right. So first, I'm going to see if it boots. All right. Well, it does appear as if it might actually be booting. So the Megafile is not connected. All right. Let me set my phone down so I can... dial the phone. Oh, I thought I told it to open the floppy. Well, that didn't change anything there. Did it... There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it booted. Yay! All right. I guess I'm going to... All right, so I'm going to turn the Atari off. I'm going to turn the Megafile on. And then we will try to boot with the Megafile and the TOS disk in the drive. We'll at least see if it attempts to boot. I don't know if the disk has a hard drive. All right. Okay. All right, I know we've got. We do have a Flappy image selected. There's nothing on the screen. All right, I'm gonna set that down. All right. My phone battery is a limited resource. Okay, if anything appears on the screen, I will let you know, but I am not seeing any signs that it's actually booting. Maybe this boot disk doesn't have a driver on it? It's a TOS 1.0 disk, so maybe I need something newer. Maybe I should get. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything. Maybe at some point I'll program a set of ROMs for TOS 1.04. It looks like it was the latest version available. There's no disk image though. All right. I don't think the Megafile is going to boot. Alright, I guess we're going to have to download that and wait for it. Okay. I'm downloading something from archive.org. In the meantime, I guess RetroFox says I need a newer TOS ROM to work with the Megafile, pretty sure. Okay. Quicksilver AUS says, yeah, I think RetroFox is right. Yep. ROMs for the old ST are not, says, go figure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to turn on the Megafile first. Sloopy says, I said that several times. Well, actually, Sloopy, if I'm not mistaken, from this website I'm looking for, which is totally could not be steering me wrong because no one would ever lie on the internet. Heaping load of sarcasm. It looks like TOS 1.04 is the latest for the Atari 520ST. It looks like everything newer than that was for the STE. Oh wait, there was a TOS 2.06. Never mind, I take that back. I didn't scroll far enough. But yeah. It's not a simple plug and play, though. Sorry, also, I think my chat kind of, like, stopped working, and then all of a sudden I got, like, a whole bunch of messages. Oh, yeah, I got, like, I think my chat was broken there for a moment. Oh, maybe not. All right. So, I'm going to clear off my bench. So, I need to order some Berg power connectors because I think I'm about to break the one on my GoTech. Not intentionally. But we're going to get the Megafile and the monitor off the bench. And oh, hi, Mike's Future Retro. Welcome. And we're going to open up the Atari 520ST. And we're going to see if we can maybe give it a toss upgrade with parts I have on hand already. All right. Sloopy says it probably has 6-chip ROMs, which means it's going to be using 27C256s. I might have enough of those. The only problem is I will have to find a copy of that where the images are broken up correctly for burning to ROMs. I'm not doing any funky math in my head to try to appease the programming software. So now I am questioning how the seller of this Atari tested it completely, considering it would appear as if they weren't running a version of TOS new enough to use the Megafile. But I digress. All right, let me see if I can unplug this adapter. I think it's just plugging in. There we go. Oh yeah, my favorite style of adapter. The connector is no longer made, so we have to solder pins to a PCB, and there's no shell, and hopefully you don't find some way to mangle it while it's off, connector style, but I guess that's better than nothing. Quicksilver AUS, you got your epic nail curing UVC light, 2 minutes to wipe. Actually, that nail curing light is not UVC. It's a UVA or UVB. UVC is a different device. And actually those take about, usually those EEPROMs take 15 to 20 minutes to erase. And that might be because my eraser is not, like, super powerful. Might also be because there's only one bulb in it. You have to nail the alignment. And I don't normally do it. All right. So we're going to... All right. So how many of these other screws are holding the case on? Probably all 3. And I just dropped one of the screws onto the floor. Wonderful. Excellent. I see where it is. Also, my screwdriver is not magnetized in the least. Oh, Quicksilver says, yeah, sorry, like 20 minutes, not 2. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, UV Cure solder mask only really needs the easier to deal with UV light, luckily. Alright, so we're going to unplug the keyboard, which needs cleaned, but at least it was made in Japan. Doc, all the best stuff is made in Japan. Fascinating. Ooh, looky there, we have a Mitsumi. Probably RF modulator. We've got a chip peering out. Soupy says I use a phone soap to erase EPROMs. Well, that would also work. I'm not sure how many you can erase at a time, but I have an actual EPROM erasing device, and I think I can fit a dozen in it at once. Did I miss a screw? All right, where's the... There we go. The hidden screw. There we go. Oh, that's why. Okay. I got tricked. Because the Megafile shield had been removed. I didn't even think to look at the twist tabs on this one to see that whoever took the shield off on this last time actually did twist a few of the tabs back into place. Oh. Including the... Oh, wow. They were... Yeah, they even bent the two that are the hardest to get to when it's in the case. Oh, wow. They really... So, how in the world are you supposed to twist these? They're like... Soupy says maybe it'll have EPROMs already in it. Well, if it has EPROMs in it, I'll probably still just program a set of new ones. That would be a total regret. Erase the set that's in here so I can write new ones, only to have something go wrong writing new ones, to not be able to use it. There we go. Wow, that RF shield. Nope, those don't look like EEPROMs. Those look like probably monochrome. So I guess we'll have to. Let's screw back so I don't forget. All right, here we go. So this is the Atari ST. Soupy says 17 people watching and only 9 likes. Only 17 people watching? I thought there were more Atari fans out there. Yep. All right, so we'll have to find some EEPROMs. Anyways, quick tour of the Atari ST. There's the processor, the 68,000. I know that's the processor because, well, it's 64 pins. And then there's the monochrome, there's RAM, and then there's a chip, 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 and there's a chip under there. All right, that concludes the tour. Maybe once I learn more about Atari, I'll be able to give a better tour. Quicksilver says, nice, it's got a blitter. Joe says chips with a Z, yeah. Actually, this is probably a sound chip because it says Yamaha. Why would it not have a blitter? Mike says, what does a monochrome do again? A monochrome does the same thing as an EEPROM, but an EEPROM would be programmed with a programmer. A monochrome is a ROM that's produced on a chip production environment. So you'd create a mask of the die and tape it out and then put it through a semiconductor fab. So basically it makes a pre-programmed ROM. Oh, Mike says the blitter was not in the early ST machines. Okay. Richard Fox says, same board I have, pain in the butt to upgrade to 1 megabyte. Yippee. Joe says, when did Justin decide to cosplay as Magnum PI? This weekend? Except I'm not Luigi. As I gave my disclaimer to Nintendo that I am not trying to pretend like I'm any particular famous character from one of their franchises. Any appearances to the contrary are purely coincidental. Bottom chip in the socket is the blitter. Okay, well, there we go. It's a blitter. Yay. I like it when I have chips that are good. It says the AY3 8930 is neat. It's like an 8910 with duty cycles. Where do you see an AY3? Because this is a Yamaha YM2149F. Oh wait, I think that's the same sound chip that's in the Yamaha Music Computer's synth module. The YM2149F. An OPL type, or an operator type M. Oh. Or AY8930. Oh, variant of the AY3 made by Yamaha. Okay. Oh, hi, Jean-Francois. Welcome. Oh, I thought this was an operator type M, or an OPM chip. I guess I didn't realize there was something something else on here too. Or I'm remembering part numbers wrong. Or I missed something in the chat. Quicksilver says these were great music. These were great MIDI machines. We're still used today to make pro music. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can't find some EPROMs. All right. And some images. TOS 1.04. I don't want a developer release. That's weird. Oh, that's also Swedish. Come on, internet. Can you just, like, give me the logical? No, I don't want to accept the cookies. Well, I just downloaded the German version. Is that what I get for not accepting cookies? Why can't we just, like, create separate ROM images? You know, like, I'm going to have to program them in my programmer because reasons? Oh, here we go. I think someone... Here we go. All right. Creating new ROMs. Apparently, there's someone that upgraded their Atari ST, and they complained that separate images don't exist, and said that they used an emulator and ROM split, and didn't, like, do the sensible thing, like, put a file on their website or, like, upload it to archive.org or something like that. So I guess, let's see here, if someone's maybe archived the separate ROMs so that I don't have to install an emulator and try to find a ROM split program. Here we go. I think. Oh, here we go. I found a forum post from someone that tried to upgrade their 1040 and they were having trouble getting it to boot. And someone asked them to post the split images, and they did. So, as far as I know, the 1040 and the 520 use the same images. Oh, and now... Oh, now I figured out what the piece of metal I found on the floor the other day is. I apparently broke the socket for my programmer. And I found the little metal handle on the floor, and I didn't know what it went to, other than it looked like a ZIF socket handle. And apparently now I have confirmed that I broke this ZIF socket, so... Well, I guess I'm going to have to order a new ZIF socket at great expense. Because, yeah, it looks like I broke it quite spectacularly. In fact, it looks like I broke it... In fact, it looks like I broke it in such a way that there's probably a chunk or two of plastic floating around here, but I don't see where the metal went. But yeah, it looks like I quite mangled it. Alright, well, I guess we won't be using the T48 tonight. Okay, I will... Alright, well, I will put that on my list of things I need to get. Maybe I can find one on Amazon that's already imported. Maybe just the ZIF socket itself's not too bad. Alright, luckily, somewhere I have my older programmer, and at least it works for the EEPROMs we need to use for the Atari. Although, maybe I should look to see if I can find the... Well, let me see if I can find the programmer, because that might be the... I don't know what I did with it. Because I think I set it off to the side because I don't normally use it. But how far to the side is another question. Actually, maybe I should just go to eBay and add a ZIF socket for that to my... It's I think a special ZIF socket. Alright. T48 ZIF socket. Oh, there we go. Oh, alright. That's $12. Plus $5 eBay Speed Pack standard. And that price includes applicable duties and fees. Okay. We're good. And that's actually the official part. Or wait, is that... That doesn't... Hold on, I think I found the wrong... Wait, that's not the right part. Got too many pins. There we go. $8 plus $5 eBay speed pack. So it includes all applicable duties and fees. That's $13. Okay. All right. That's probably about what I expected for that socket. Oh, but if I can, actually, if I can find my TL866, actually, I think it may use the same style ZIF socket. So I may actually be able to swipe it. All right, let me see. Here it is. Oh, okay. ZIF socket's not wanting to come out. I'll just have to. All right, I'll use the old programmer. I think it's compatible with the new software. All right. Well, I found four 27C 256s. I think I've got another two bugged on it. Oh, please. I'm looking for. Okay. There is something I'm going to do before I waste time removing labels. All right. 27C 256. Well, that might be an idea. Maybe I'll just order some one-time programmable ones. Actually, I'm gonna log into my Mouser cart or my Mouser account just to see if. Because I seemingly at one point remember ordering some one-time programmable chips for something. So I'm logging in to see if by chance those were them. No. Well, that might be an idea, though. Maybe I might order some one-time programmable chips. Because it's not like I'm going to reprogram them. Um... Alright, it would appear as if the parts I ordered for Mouser were not... I think they might have been... They weren't 27C256s. They might have been 28C64s. Oh, no, they weren't 20... Oh, no, I did not order those for Mouser. Those are expensive. Those are actually the erasable ones. No, 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 no. I did not order those. Definitely did not. Okay. Let's see if I have enough EPROMs to do this. The thing is, I have 4 EPROMs that are blank, and I need 6. So, therefore, I need to go to my box of EPROMs to process. And I gotta see what I've got. This means I'm going to have to erase some chips. Alright, so this is a grab bag from Jamco. Wouldn't it be funny if there were some TOS 1.04 EPROMs in here, but there's not. Question is, though, are there any 27C 256s? Let me see if these... Oh, no, these are 27C 010s. Grab bag EPROMs 10 each, 27C 010. Okay, so that will not help. Alright, the next one is... (27C 512, 512). Can't read. 512, 512. Oh, this is a tube of 512s. Okay. 27C 512s. Those will not help. Alright. Alright, this one's, 27C 128s. Okay, that will not help. What's the chance that this is 256s? No! 27C 64s. Okay, that will not help. Although apparently there's a BIOS for a future domain something or other, and a Haze something or other. Cue Joe making modem sounds in the chat. Okay. Oh, okay, those are... Oh, okay, that's... Those are not EPROMs. Okay. I'll deal with those later. Alright, let's see here. Let's see, that's a clock chip. Oh, here we go. It's a Mr. BIOS. Oh, something tells me that's going to be a 512. Quicksilver's asking, can you use EPROMs here? Jack is asking if I've lost my GoTech again. No, GoTech is found. We are looking for 27C256s to burn a set of TOS 1.04 EPROMs. Because the version of TOS in my ST is too old for the Megafile. Alright, that's a 27C512. That will not help. Oh, it looks like I've got another grab bag of chips in here. Probably one I dumped out of the tube because I needed an extra tube. And probably picked one at random. And wouldn't it be... I bet it... I wonder if the ones I dumped out of the tube are 27C256s. C 512. Those are 512s. 512. That's gonna be a 512. That's gonna be a 512. That's a SRAM chip. That's a mystery chip. That's a 512. Okay. That's a 512. Ah, 27C256. Alright. Have one. That's a 128. That's a 512. A 512. I think that's a 256. So it looks like I have found just enough, but that's assuming that these chips are good. And I'm going to have to erase those before we'll know if they're good. The ones that I have in the tube should be erased. Yep, Jack, I think that's pretty much the conclusion we've come to. Oh, good. I found another 27C256. I was hoping I would find... Oh, Jack, these are the ones that need to be erased. If they're erased, I put them in a tube that's marked with the capacity. But I have so many that need erased that I just dump them in a box. So as I have free time, what's free time? I don't know what free time is. But as I have this nebulous concept of free time, where I get bored on Dave's stream, because sometimes that's just the way you have to do it, I'll start erasing some chips. And actually, something tells me this chip here is not an EEPROM. It tells me this is an... Oh. Oh, it's a 27C512. All right. All right, so I'm going to put this in the programmer. Jack says free time. Not. Yes, I could use 27C512s, but then I have to mod them. I would rather use the 27C 256s so that I don't have to mod the chip, so I can theoretically erase them. Oh, wait a minute. That was the wrong device. I'm trying to see if this is an EEPROM. But it looks like okay. Yeah, they're inconvenient to store in log tubes, but okay, let me try one more thing, because I have one spare chip. So I have this grab bag here from Jamco. And it's quite literally, this one is quite literally a grab bag. In fact, it's so quite literally a grab bag that one of these EEPROMs has grabbed onto the bag and is not letting go voluntarily. Because I think these chips might have been... There we go. Okay, well, that's a 128. Alright, so... Probably, if I was thinking... Okay, that's a 512. Huh, this one says Motion Basic on it. Something tells me those may go together. Let's see, that's a flash chip. This is a quite sorry-looking Cirrus Logic chip. I guess if I got desperate enough to fix something that had that chip on it, I guess I'll keep it. There are some flash chips here. I'm looking to see if there's any 27C256s in here. Something tells me this is going to be heavy on the larger chips. Oh, some very cute flash memories. D27256. All right. There's one, and it doesn't have a label on it, so we'll go ahead and erase that. And there's one. Okay, they're 27 256s. Here we go. There's two. So I think what I'll do is, let me see how many more I might have. And then probably what I'll do is I'll start to erase the ones. That's a 27C240. That is a big EEPROM. Actually, can I zoom in close enough to that? Look at the look at how much EEPROM storage that has. That's big. All right, but it's not a 256. I got three 256s. All right, these larger chips I can ignore because they're not 256s. Oh, it's a 27C4002. Some of these chips just may be useless in PC applications. All right, there's some D27 256s. Let's see, that's a 010. It's a 512. It's a 512. It's a 512. This is a 512. That's a 512. That's a 512. An 010. Yep, those are 010s. That's a 4002. That is a mystery chip. It says X2804AP. I wonder if that's an SRAM chip or something. Oh, MCM6810P. 2804AP. Oh, it's a Hitachi 6116. Oh, yeah. Maybe there are a few little SRAMs in this package. Oh, and those are some 128s. Okay. All right. So, back into my box of they need erased. There's all these chips here, because these are the wrong size, and I'm not going to sit here and remove labels from them tonight. There we go. All right, these I will attempt to remove the labels on while I erase these. Which were either probably ones I've written to before and erased, or two of them I think looked like the labels had already come off clean. So, all right, so let me try to erase these. Let me put them in the eraser for like 20 minutes. Quicksilver says, "Oh, give me 40-pin Amiga Kickstart ROMs. They're expensive, and for Amigas, keep them." Oh, that's what those are. I didn't realize that that's what those were. All right, well, I guess if I ever get an Amiga that uses them, now I can create them. Well, except for the fact I don't think I have a programmer that can program them. At least not without an adapter that I don't have. one of the chips that was in my eraser is a 27C256. So let's see if it happens to be blank. So, yeah, 27C256. All right. Because if it's not, then I will try to erase them. All right, so these, I believe, are national. And I believe this could be the Q version. All right, blank. Oh. This programmer not available. No, hold on. Oh. The wrong software for that programmer. All right. So that I don't have to install new software. Oh, no. That is fixed. All right. All right. Let me see if I can find the software for this. Oh, thanks, Sloopy. I just saw your file on Discord. All right. Let me go grab the TL866A software. Oh, I already have this downloaded somewhere. All right. Hold, please, while I go find the. Mini Pro. Mini. There it is. There we go. All right. Now let me see if the software that I just installed. Can see the programmer. I believe it just did. 20. All right. 27C256. I will get a new select device, blank check. Oh, ID check failed. Fine, we'll do a blank check without checking the ID. Device, blank check. All right, device is blank. All right, so I have 5 chips. That are blank. Well, if I can find them. Where did I put them? Oh, there they are. So I am currently erasing 5. I have 5 that are blank. And I guess let's go ahead and remove labels and clean these up. While we wait for those EPROMs to erase, just in case, I have Fallout. Because every time you erase and reprogram one of these chips, it gets one more erase program cycle. Where it has none left in it. So probably what I'll do for this is I'll probably order some one-time programmable chips. So that if I do finally get a version of TOS that I'm going to leave in it, then I will program a set of one-time programmable chips. The nice thing about those are they'd be newer, lower power, but otherwise just as compatible. So it would save a little bit of heat generation, potentially. Because if I'm going to leave a set of ROMs in it, then I might as well make a set of one-time programmable ROMs, because I could still swap them out. There's sockets in the 520ST. At least that's one good thing. It's fully socketed. I don't have to install sockets. Yep, they all have finite write erase cycles. Honestly, I don't remember what the rating was on EPROMs like this, but realistically, I think you can probably write to them a handful of times. All right. That's 11:09. Will I have a set written before midnight? That is the question. All right, where's my eucalyptus oil? found the LCD screen cleaner that I thought I did not own. That's too funny. All right. Yeah, Quicksilver thinks it might have been over 1,000, but who would have tried that number of times to have called them out on overinflating their number? It's also possible now that these chips have aged that age is playing a factor in how many times you can write and erase to them. Oh, all right. All right. I guess we're just going to use isopropyl alcohol because I don't know what I did with my eucalyptus oil. And I don't see my goof off. So all I can imagine is my goof off is goofing off right now. And it probably took the eucalyptus oil with it. So we'll just use isopropyl alcohol and basically these are backup to the ones that are in the programmer. Actually, that looks pretty clean. I think some of these, the labels came off cleanly enough that I think they'll be fine. Like that one there. That one's clean. This one I gotta bend a pen back. Some of these look like someone may have started to process them for erasing them. You know, some of these maybe I should check to see if they're not already blank. Actually, this one is one of them. Only because it looks like it was someone cleaned the label off of it. Oh, that one is blank. Okay. All right. Well, I will go ahead and put that in the tube. And this one looks like someone processed it too. Oh, that one is also blank. All right. Yeah, that's true. I'll just get the windows as clean as possible and we'll try to erase them. And then hopefully I've got enough that hopefully I'll have enough, because all I need is for 6 to program. Because actually, this is hopefully temporary. Because I think I'd probably like to install a megabyte of RAM in my ST. Especially if I can find a RAM upgrade that is reversible. Okay, that is not blank, so we'll try to erase that one. This one is... Oh. Oh. One that I put in backwards. Alright, well, let's try to check it. Alright, that is not blank. We'll try to erase that one. That window looks pretty clean. These two here... The label still has adhesive on it. Let's see if the adhesive will just come off. Some of these are actually not CMOS chips. That window... I may not even be able to program them. Alright, we will still try to erase that. I'm going to have to erase them at some point. Alright, we're still waiting for the chips I just put in the eraser to erase, but I'll start to write these ROMs. Alright, that's good enough. Alright. Let me put the cap on the isopropyl alcohol before I knock it over. Alright. I am going to start in this tube on the other side. Alright, this first chip is a... AM27C256. AMD 27C256 in a DIP 28. Let's go ahead and open. Let's see here. Extract all. How are the ROM sockets marked on this ST? U2, U3, U4, U5, U6, and U7. All right. All right. I will have to find a guide to tell me which ROM is which. All right. You've missed some exciting chip prep work. All right, so let's go. We'll just write high 0. Check ID failed. All right, well, fine. All right, program. I've got a marker out that I can write on the top of these chips what they are. Okay. It did not program the first attempt. Oh, this chip is not programming. AM27C256. All right, I'll bump the voltage up a little bit. Oh, there we go. I bumped the programming voltage up half a volt. That seemingly fixed the problem. Probably because I'm using my TL866A until I can get a new ZIF socket for my P48. So I have a feeling, even though the programmer was set to 13.5 volts, something tells me it wasn't even outputting that. All right. So I've got a high 0 EEPROM. There we go. 1 EEPROM. All right, we got another AMD chip. I will write low 0. Or, as Sloopy says, it could be because TL866 suck for EEPROMs. Yes. I mean, what can I do? I broke the ZIF socket in my TL48. I'm not sure when I managed to do it, but I managed to do it. Ripped the handle clean off of it. I think by bumping the volts half a volt in the software, I'm actually 1.5 volts over what you need for these EEPROMs, because I want to say they're 12.5 volt rated. Yes, I know. Jack says superhuman strength. Hi, Jack. All right. Yeah, that was probably it. All right, so let me load high 1. And I'll also program them like 4 or 5 times. Oh, I'm not sure when I broke it. It was like a week ago. I found a little metal piece on the floor, and I thought to myself, that looks an awful lot like a ZIF socket handle, but I don't know what it goes to because I have yet to find a ZIF socket missing the handle. Well, cue tonight when I need to use my T48, and, well, clearly, yeah, there's where the handle was and the plastic that held it in. I very clearly damaged the socket. Well, luckily, the fine folks at X Geeku, XGECU, um, Haiku Zingong Electronics Co. Limited. Uh, Luckily, they sell the ZIF sockets on eBay, so yeah, potential eBay regret of a ZIF socket. All right, good night, Jean Francois. Oh, good. The chips I was erasing have finished, so. All right, so there's high one. All right, and then low one. And then I can either. Oh, let me go grab the ones out of the eraser. All this chip programs attempt number 2 of 4. I always program them multiple times when I'm using these programmers to make sure that they have a good program. All right. And just in case, I'm going to go ahead and put these 4 in the programmer while I let it program attempt 3 of 4. Not because I think I'll need them, but because if I don't erase them, then I will need them. Hmm. All right, so there we go. That is going to be low 1. Again, I will have to figure out which socket is which, because these ROMs are labeled differently than the sockets are numbered. All right, so all right, so all right. So basically, I just erase these, and instead of taking the time to, well, actually, I can blank check. All right. Excellent. All right, this one's this one erased. This one's high 2. Okay. May have to bump the voltage up on it. It's a different. Oh, there we go. It took the program the second time around. I'll program it 5 times in total. Three. Quicksilver says, this is why I built a Willem programmer with a 40 dip socketed with a 24-volt external power source. Never failed me. Cost about 20 Australian for 5 PCBs, about 30 Australian for sockets and chicken feed. Well, all right. That EEPROM. Not taking the program. All right. So, let's see. 27. Okay, just change the. Case 7C256. All right. Okay. There we go. We have a high 2. And now, hopefully, this EEPROM is good. All right, it did erase. Having programming problems. Hold, please. It is not taking a program. Oh, failed the check ID there. All right. All right, we're gonna go for broke. All right, that IC is dead. All right. All right, let's go. Just need one more. All right, gotta change brands. National 27C256Q. All right, device blank check. Oh, did I read the wrong letter? I don't know why so many of these fail the ID check. All right, blank check. All right, it's blank. All right, load. Load to. Program. Program. Hi, Dave. Welcome. We are having fun with EPROMs. If you're wondering that one that I just declared dead, it's because I went for broke and I set the programmer to the maximum programming voltage to see if I could overcome whatever problem it was having with not taking the first byte. And, well, I think the chip overcurrented. So I'm pretty much figuring if the chip won't even take the first byte of programming, then it's not a chip I need to mess with anymore. It's just going to waste my time. All right. There we go. Wonderful. All right. Sadmac says, hi, Sadmac. Sadmac says, fun with EPROMs. I'm not sure how many E's are appropriate here. It would be one. One E, because they are erasable, not electrically erasable. They are erasable by UV light. All right, so I'm going to blank check these last two here. All right, that one actually erased, so I will go ahead and put it in the tube of chips. And this one, did it erase? Yes, it did. All right, so I got some spare EPROMs. All right, now let me see if I can find a guide to which socket is which on the 520ST. Five. All right. Well, that's. Oh, there we go. There we go. I found a picture. So, I'm just so that I remember. I am going to actually right side up, which means I got to turn the Atari ST upside down. So this one is U2, U3, U4, U5, U6, and U7. All right, now for if and when I need to put those back in the Atari ST, I have marked where they go for ease of use. So now I will very carefully all right, some of them are coming out more carefully than others. Therefore, I am going to call in for reinforcement. And I will probably realize that the marker that I put on those to mark them is probably now a figment of my imagination. All right, I'll deal with that later. I'll put them on my bench in the order that they were in, and I'll relabel them once they dry. Okay. So I found a picture of someone who upgraded their ROMs. I'm going to deoxit those sockets. All right, so this is high 2, high 1, high 0, low 2, low 1, low 0. I would have probably actually, it would have taken me a couple times to actually guess that arrangement. So, high 2. High 1. Although I guess given the way the board's laid out, maybe that makes just as much sense as other ways. Because this probably means these are data bits, what, 9 through, or 8 through 16 or something like that. Low 2. Fun fact, the ST in Atari ST stands for 1632, which has to do with the 68,000's addressing modes. There we go. All right, we have ROMs. Now I would really like to find some anti-static something or other to set the original ROMs on. But barring that, I'll just set them on my cotton swab package, and because I need to make room for the Atari monitor. Because it is 11:43. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have time for the Megafile. But I at least want to see if the TOS upgrade is successful. I will go ahead and plug the keyboard in. Because step 1 is I'm just going to see if this works. Let me see here. I need to find... Oh, here we go. Just find something to keep the keyboard from shorting out. Here's our absolutely official power supply. We'll plug it into absolutely official power cord. See here. Go grab the monitor. I don't have a VGA adapter, so I'm just going to have to point my phone at the monitor. All right, let me see. Is that the monitor? Yep. monitor. All right, monitor is plugged in. Let me give it some official power. Oh, excellent. All right, so Atari ST should have power. Monitor should have power. Keyboard is plugged in. I don't have GoTech. That would require plugging in the adapter. All right. Oh, let's see here. All right. That's probably a good sign. Hey, that's probably a really good sign. Silver asks, by the way, what time is it there for guys in the US? It's like 1:45 p.m. here. Well, on the East Coast of the United States, it is 11:45 p.m. Well, that's probably a good sign. We have more copyright dates. You know, they could have added a version number there, but I guess at least we should be lucky that they decided to add copyright 1985, 86, 87, 88, 89, Atari Corporation. You know, most companies would have just put a hyphen between 85 and 89 and called it a day, but no. Atari special. Jack Trammell probably said, you are going to name off every year that we worked on this. Because we're Atari. But I'm Jack Trammell. I don't know. Actually, there's probably some reason. Some developer probably didn't have the heart to put a hyphen there. For all I know, the code broke when they put a hyphen there, so they had to use comma and separate the years instead. Jack says, I'm glad there wasn't a year they didn't work on it. Sloopy says, odd, how does it have a post 86 copyright date? Well, I don't know, Sloopy. That I used the image you sent me. Quicksilver says, Master Justin Chief is upgraded as Cortana says, yes. All right. Okay, so let's I don't know. Let's plug in the GoTech and see if it boots. Something tells me I'm going to have to probably grab a different boot floppy image because actually, you know, he says, the image I sent, that should be 1.04 US edition. All right, how about let's do this. Instead of me dorking with GoTech, how about let me just grab the Megafile and we'll see if updating TOS did anything. So at least maybe it doesn't hang at a black screen on boot. Oh, actually, I do see that there's a port on the Megafile marked in and a port marked out. So I am going to make sure I plug it in the port marked in to the ST because I'm pretty sure. Or do I plug it into the one marked out? I haven't had a chance to read any manuals. Because if I were designing a daisy chain system that had separate ports, I would, on the one hand, I would say maybe in would be coming from the computer, but then again, in could be coming in from another drive. Let me see. Thomas sent me a couple links. Let's see here. All right, let me pull up the manual. Important information, table of contents, connecting one megafile. There we go. And stack the computer on top of the megafile, then place your monitor on top of the computer. Yeah, oh, if you have an ST, then you can place the hard drive behind the computer and place the monitor on top of the hard disk. All right. Connecting one hard disk. Ah, okay. My instinct was correct once I saw that one was marked in and one was marked out. In is the one coming from the computer, and out goes to the next. If you have more than one hard drive, out would go to the next hard drive. Okay. All right, and the instructions say to make sure the cables are secure, so I will go ahead and screw them in just to make sure. All right, I will plug the Megafile into power. I will let it spin up. It powered on because I accidentally flipped the switch. All right, we are spinning up. All right, we should be spun up. All right. Here we go. Okay, that's an improvement. Hey, look at that. We have hard disk, hard disk, hard disk. Do we dare? Do we dare? Oh, I need to bump the brightness on the monitor. There we go. Oh, that's volume. Oh, that looks good. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have a mouse. So this gives me the opportunity to dial the phone, as Joe was calling it. Hey, and we've got files on here. We got Zork. And other stuff. I wonder if that's like Zork 1 maybe. Oh, you can't see where I'm pointing. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, let me open the next one. Oh, by the way, that is the C drive. How DOS. Oh, that this D drive has one folder on it. But all right, let's look at I guess the E drive. Oh, nothing. So but yeah, we got files. We got files, and all it seemingly required was a TOS upgrade because it looks like the driver is on the Megafile. So look at that. My $80 cable I had to buy from France worked to get the Megafile from Canada working with the Atari ST from Canada. And if we really want to get international, keyboard was made in Japan. Yeah, look at that. That is awesome. Jack says an exquisite $80 cable from France. Well, you better believe it, because that is a DB19. The DB19 cable. Because this is an Atari Megafile. Well, Thomas, you got back from the fire hall? And I got the hard drive. The hard drive works. The problem was wrong version of TOS. I have a feeling this Megafile was probably not used with this Atari ST. Compatible with the TOS upgrade, yes. And I'm sorry for the flickery. I'm going to have to get a VGA adapter for my ST. But that'll be a later problem. There we go. We got files. So with that, I think this is a highly successful point to draw the stream to an end. So what am I going to have to do before I pull the Atari ST back on the bench? Well, I need a mouse, I need a VGA adapter, and well, that will help. Because we can explore it with TOS 1.04 just fine. But yeah, this is sweet. The monitor looks crisp. 1.04. Sloopy said that without upgrading the RAM, that's the highest you can go. So, yeah. So, with that, I think this is a successful place to end the stream. Yeah, got the Megafile works. It sounds great. And it's got some stuff on it. I'll have to go through and see exactly what's on it, but right offhand, it looks like it's got a few games on it. But yeah, it works. It's well, it's got one of those Seagate MFM hard drives in it, the one that Adrian Black's always saying that they're reliable. So it's got one of those. Did I do the park command? Does it have a park command? I don't see a park command. I don't see a park command. Unless they hid it in some folder. Oh, this is gonna be fun trying to find where they hid Park. Yeah, it's the hard drive. Thomas says it is. I yeah, I haven't found the park command yet. Unless I bring up like a command window that I don't know where it is. Oh, oh, um, oh, Thomas says the 238 auto parks. Okay. All right, that's good because there's no park command on here. That also makes it easy. Anyways, yeah. So it looks like all I got to do is turn it off and it'll auto park. Yeah, the EPROMs will get covered. In fact, I'll put the insulator over them. There we go. They will be covered later. Yeah, the EPROMs were hard to burn. I'm probably going to order some one-time programmable ROMs. Oh, hi, Greg. Welcome. We have Hurricane Mods here, uploading the Tahoe beta video. Sloopy says because there's a lot of UV in Justin's basement. Yeah, Sloopy. We have lots of UV when because you know how I just like to pull out my solder mask curing station and just set it over top of EPROMs and ask myself, do I feel lucky? Well, do I punk? And then turn it on. I don't have time for that. Thomas says the T-Rex makes the UV. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get some one-time programmable ROMs, and that way I can save my EPROMs for things that change more frequently. TOS is pretty much settled. So, anyways, it's great. The Atari ST works. The Megafile works. The monitor looks crispy sharp. I just need to get a mouse for it, and then I'll be able to really use it effectively. We can play Zork. I need to get the VGA adapter, too. That's the other thing. So anyways, it is, I think now is a good time to end the stream before I manage to break something. Sloopy says you can loan me a mouse until you find one. Yeah, I probably will take you up on that offer, Sloopy. Although, all right, so streaming schedule. I will not be streaming Thursday. I'm going to go, I'll be in Richmond. I've got a friend who's a poet. He does shows. He's doing a small East Coast tour. And since he started doing his poetry shows in this area, he's got a show in Richmond. I think most of his other shows are in Michigan. But Jack's asking, how far away is Richmond? Richmond is about an hour. The first Richmond exits on I-64 are about an hour and 10 minutes away from me. Richmond, Virginia. Oh, yeah, that is probably true. There is a Richmond, California. I'm not going to that one. Yeah, Richmond, Virginia. It's the state capital of Virginia. So my friend is doing a show there because he started doing his poetry in this area. So I'm going to go see a show on Thursday. Quicksilver says, get yourself a Yamaha synth keyboard with an OPL 2 or 3 chip. Ooh, nice. Anyways, yeah, not too bad. Considering he lives in Michigan these days, Richmond is a much more doable drive. Anyways, he's doing a show in Richmond. And Thomas says, there's a Richmond in every English-speaking country. Yes, I believe you are correct. I I just don't know where the Richmond is in Canada, but I'm sure they're... That Jack says Richmond in the Bay Area is slightly further away, lol. Yeah, anyways, so I'm going to go see him on Thursday, so I will not be streaming. Next week, I'm calling Monday TBD. I was thinking of going to a get-together Monday, but new week, new thought of, I'm not sure I feel like driving to Richmond twice within a week's span. So I may actually stream next Monday. I'll decide later in the week. So last week I was thinking not going to stream next Monday. This week I'm thinking, I might stream Monday. Thomas says, "Oh, watch what I missed." All right, well that's good, Thomas. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, I don't stay tuned to socials, because if I decide to stream next Monday, I'll post something. If I decide to actually go to that get-together next Monday, then my next stream will be next Thursday. So it just so happens that the show and then an alumni get-together are, Thursday and the following Monday. So anyways, I hope you all will subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. You can watch socials. If I decide to stream next Monday, then I'll post something to socials to let folks know I've decided to stream. Oh yeah, thank you, Quicksilver. Yeah, I'm glad when a plan comes together, because this is the first Atari ST I've ever owned or used. I'd read about them. I knew they had TOS was the operating system. It was the gym environment. So, I mean, I've read about them. I knew they existed. I knew they were 68K machines. I'd never actually used one or owned one, for that matter, until now. So I'm glad I picked this one up. It's in great condition. The Megafile. I'm glad when Trina told me that, hey, the seller's got the Megafile and monitor. I'm glad I went for the whole thing. I mean, again, I was a bit worried after Trina shipped that oh no, is the Megafile going to survive? Is the monitor going to survive? It has to go through 2 countries. But anyways, yeah, it's just the monochrome monitor, but it's actually a pretty nice picture. I'll get a VGA adapter so I can at least explore the 16 colors. And yes, I believe it's 16 colors, not 16-bit color, but 16 colors of the Atari ST. Jack says, for future reference, Trina is a pro at shipping. Yes, she is. So yeah, 2 thumbs up. And T-Rex says, roar. And notice the inflection. It's a happy roar. T-Rex is actually probably going to sneak over here and use the Atari ST tonight, because you see that big grin he's got on his face. Thomas says Atari has color modes. Okay. Maybe there's more color modes than I think there is. But anyways, yeah, I will look into reasonable upgrades. Oh, 2 modes. Okay. I'm thinking I will look into a memory upgrade. So at least I have a megabyte of memory. Because then I think I can run TOS 2.06. So I may look into that, but for sure, I'm going to get a VGA adapter so I can plug it into my scaler and not have to point a phone at it. I will at some point break down and get a tripod for my phone so I can at least not have to handhold it while I'm using Droid Cam. And if I can't find an Atari mouse, then at least I think I may try to find a USB to Atari mouse adapter, or maybe PS2 to Atari mouse adapter. I think those may be easier to come by. Although somewhere I may have an adapter if I can find it. If it's got a jumper to change it from Amiga to Atari. Thomas says, I think TOS 1.04 is the limit for that hardware. Actually, I found a website that seemingly implied Although it could be wrong, because it's cheap to just say on the web that something worked. But I've got a website that says TOS 2.06 was the last version of TOS available for the ST and STE range of computers. So it looks like Atari may have released 2.06, although they skipped a whole bunch of versions because there were a whole bunch between it that were only for the STE, I believe. But it looks like 2.06 may have been available for the ST. I may have to check that out. It does look like, though, it was on a 2-chip ROM. Oh. Okay, maybe there's a motherboard difference that I don't know about. Oh, Sloopy says you can run newer, but it won't help and will actually cause issues in some cases. Thomas says check on Exos UK. Okay. Well, then maybe 1.04 is what I'll keep. I still may look into a RAM upgrade though. Anyways, yeah, this is great. I think this is a great place to stop the stream for tonight before I manage to break something. So don't forget to smash that like button if you like it when I get these old dinosaurs up and running. Thomas says I use an SSD drives on my Atari. Loopy says the only recommendation I would have is to upgrade the RAM. All right, I will look into a RAM upgrade. Subscribe and turn on notifications because at some point I'll probably upgrade the RAM in this ST. I think I may also get some one-time programmable ROMs just to have a matching set of ROMs because I used like 3 different types of ROMs and that's already bugging me that I'm mixed and matched. But anyways, yeah, no problem. I'm glad to stream. So yeah, thanks for joining me, Callan and Dave and Quicksilver and Sloopy and Thomas and Jack and Sadmac and Trina and Greg. I'm just trying to scroll back to the chat. I know I'm going to miss a bunch of people that joined early. Retrofox. Trying to make sure I catch everyone. Jean-Francois and Mike and Joe and Stian and I'm trying to spot people, but I know I'm going to miss people. So if I missed you, it's just because my brain can only handle so much of the chat this late, and I tried to remember everyone. I know there were a couple other people that joined. Just trying to, I don't like to miss people. I'm glad everyone joined. Yep, for some reason the chat. Sloopy says just use flash ICs. Yeah, I was going to get some 27C 256 Rs. I think I'll double check that they're pin compatible, but I was just going to get some programmable ones, but something where I could use have 6 matching ROM types, so it's not like mix or match, because it bugs me. Because it's like if you saw the mix and match I have in here, you'd see why I just want to get a set of matching ROMs and try again. Anyway, it's been a great stream. I'm glad you all could join me for my second Monday stream. And stay tuned so you kind of know when I'm going to stream next. I have the schedule up. Next Monday's TBD. For sure, next Thursday I'll be back on my regular schedule. And with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. hanging out, staying cool in the chat, putting up with me as I had to erase and program EPROMs, and I will get a new ZIF socket for my Better Programmer so that I can use that one, because it works way better than the cheaper, older one. Although it is relative. I know there's better programmers out there, but it is what I have. And for now, what I have is what I have. So have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.